Hey everyone, I think we are now live. Let me know how the audio level is, if it needs to be increased or whatever. Let's just wait for the chat to get set up and give me a second. So to post this on Twitter and just let everyone know that we are now live. Oh, so apologies for the recent channel URL changes. Mostly just trying to get things consistent across all the platforms, and it's a bit annoying that Twitch doesn't let you change your handle, but so be it. So anyway, so hey, B-Money2310. So first of all, thanks for joining us. Audio is good. Okay, so basically today what I want to show you guys is how I am using a MIDI controller. Now, a lot of people, what I have is the Nano Control 2 from Korg. A lot of people think you want to use a MIDI controller for doing audio stuff, but it's actually really, really fantastic for working on visuals and getting gameplay stuff, game feel, and I kind of want to just show you guys how you can use it for a whole bunch of stuff. Basically, you don't want to be tweaking values inside the inspector. You want to be using this guy instead. So let's jump into this scene. All right. So, and you know, for those of you that are new, this game is Relativity. It's, oops, let's move this away. First-person exploration puzzle game. I've been working on an orthographic camera with that does edge detection. So I'll show you guys what it looks like. And feel free to ask questions throughout. Run. So there's a lot going on in the scene, so it kind of takes a little while. All right, so here we go. So this is how the this is the edge detection shader, right? Let me pause the game. Actually, yeah, give me a second. I'm gonna. Sorry, I was making some changes to this other script just right before I started, so there's a few problems with the scene. Hence, so I apologize in advance for probably slightly higher than usual number of crashes. But my philosophy is if you are not you know what? Hold on a second. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and let's just disable this one since we're not going to use it. Show edge and we're going to disable these two scripts. Return true. Yeah, that's oh no, wait, they want me to return a string. I'm broken. I'll come back later and explain sort of what all this is going on. But I want to do this so just to avoid surprise crashes. Okay, so, and then in the actual, so this actual shader script, let's also just go ahead and disable, just, I just got a message from my programmer David that he has upgraded ProBuilder in Slack. Alright, so, alright, let's save this and let's comment out everything here as well. Okay, so I think now we should be fine. All right, let's go back to our stream layout. So I want to first show you sort of like what I used to, the way I used to do things and how I've started to do them now once I've gotten it set up with the MIDI controller. Okay, so there is one compile error. Edge detection shear. Alright, let's also disable you. Let's comment out this. Alright, now this should work. Alright, hopefully Unity doesn't crash again. Come on. Alright, here we go. It is working. So, alright, so this is, you can see this is the, right now we have the edge detection shader going on in this scene. And if I wanted to make changes to it, what I'd have to do is I'd have to click on the main camera. So let's move my Twitter out of the way. So the way I would have to do it, right, is I would have to click on the camera and then go down to the actual edge detection shader script. So this is not the shader itself, it's a script that's controlling the shader. And I would have to like, okay, I can change the color here, right? But let's say I want to change the sensitivity for depth. So I'm doing it this way, but this isn't giving me, this is kind of like really hard to control. I'm basically holding down on the mouse and then right, left, like it's not, it's easy to kind of go over and have too much. Likewise, you can adjust sensitivity. You can also change between different shader modes. Again, you can adjust the different thresholds. And then if I wanted to change the camera, you know, if I wanted to change the projection size or the far clipping planes, the far and near clipping planes, which both have an impact on how the edge detection is turning out, I would have to do it here. And it was really frustrating too, because I would always have to pause the game first. And the reason why I have to pause the game is because we disabled the mouse during runtime, right? So you're not, so like when you're when you're looking around the game, your mouse isn't constantly flying out and clicking on stuff in the inspector. So I always have to like pause it and then come back and make changes here. And it was just really, really tedious. So let me show you now how well it works with the how well it works when I have using the MIDI controller. And there's also like some tips on how to, like, the way you want to set it up so you can allow for infinite values in either direction. Like, instead of mapping the actual knob itself from 0 to 1, what you can do is you can, if you press down a button, and I'll show you guys in a bit, basically, like, if you can press down a button, it ignores these knobs for a little bit, so that means you can reset it and then turn it back on, and it'll let you make adjustments again. So here's our scene. Now, I do have a debug console. We'll save that for another stream. It's kind of a big that's a pretty big topic. So list commands, that shows all the commands that are available. So now one of the ones I want is show edge ortho panel, right? So what this does here is it brings up this panel of, you know what, and let's just make it, all right. So okay, Unity doesn't like it when I change the aspect ratio inside, but that's fine. By the way, if you're enjoying the stream, aside from the crashes now and then, make sure to follow the channel. I used to have another one. It was Willy Cheer, W-I-L-Y-C-H-Y-R. We stopped that because there were all right, because I changed my Twitter handle. So all right, let's go back to the game. We will do free aspect, maximize on play, mute audio. Let me save this project. Let me save the scene. Now let's hit run. Man, the chat is very quiet today. Right, actually, because I wanted to enable this controller. There we go. All right, save the project, save the scene. Hey, main GI, hello. I was wondering where you are. The Great Amalgamation. All right, now we're getting some activity in the chat. Tembo. I've never played Tembo before. Okay. Yeah, I guess I have like pretty complicated scenes because it always takes forever. Yes, sorry, main GI. I've been changing channels, but this is it. William Cheer, not W Cheer, not Willie Cheer. This is it. All right, so let's show edge ortho panel. I think W Cheer should be hosting. Main GI, can you let me know if W Cheer is hosting this channel? And the other one I want to say is MIDI adjust edge ortho. So these are commands I've inputted to like make it adjustable. So basically you can see I've got this panel now on the right side, and what it does is it presents all the values on the screen, so I don't have to have the inspector viewing, so I can just open this whole thing up. And so that's what the first one does. No, William Chur is it, I promise. We're not going to change it. No, this one is here to stay. So the first one, what it does is it brings up this panel, it makes it viewable, and the second one lets the MIDI controller adjust it. Now, and the reason why I want that command to make it adjustable is because there's really not enough buttons. Like sometimes I want to use the MIDI controller to adjust game feel. So like I don't always want the MIDI controller to be affecting values. So now let me show you something that's really cool, right? It's like, so just by turning these knobs, I can affect the color. So these top three adjust the RGB color values. And what I've done is now they are capped to between 0 and 1. Right, so this is RGB. These are the background colors. Now, you're not showing background color because my background fade is set to 0 right now. Now background fade is set to 1, and I have these knobs up here, which is allowing me to, again, change the color. So the top ones I've set aside for colors, background color. So now this is really great. Now, I mean, so first of all, this just looks cool, right? This is like, just from a graphic design, like, by the way, this is a really great color scheme. All right, so anyway, I'm able to make these changes. Now, here's what's important, though. So what I have is there's a number of tips. So these are adjusting, this is adjusting the sample distance. You can see the lines are a lot thicker the higher I go. Right now, you can see it's going between 0.5 and 1.5, okay? This knob is my background fade, so it's adjusting how much of the background color I want to come in, the strength of it. This is my depth sensitivity. It's I'm not going to go into the details of how the shader is working, but basically I'm using a combination of the depth values in the scene and the normal values. So this is making it more sensitive to depth. You can see it's reading more black. This is making it more sensitive to normal. Now I think there's a number of shader modes. I think normal sensitivity isn't actually making any changes. This is color sensitive. I think that's again for another mode. This is depth threshold. Okay, so now you can see it basically, so this is, everything is moving from 0 to 1. Okay, when the knob is at the bottom, that's 0. When it's at the top, it's 1. All right, normal threshold, color threshold, background color, edge color, right. Now, and I can also, all right, hey, Mainjai, thanks for the heads up. Thanks, glad to hear that. It's good to hear that it's hosting. So I have a number of different buttons. Now, one of the things you'll want to do, so now this is a little annoying, right? Because it's like, okay, it's going between 0 and 1. What if I want the normal sensitivity to go up to 4? How would you do that? Because this physically, there's not enough room, right? I mean, you could map it from 0 to 1, but that then makes it not as, you can't be as accurate and precise. So actually, here, what I've done with this button, so there's a bunch of buttons here. And basically what I've done is I've made them like toggle different functions. So now if you look at the top of the panel, you see there's now controlling, using MIDI controller, ignore MIDI mode, and value adjust speed. So what ignore MIDI mode does is if I hit this button, you can see now ignore MIDI mode and it's turned to red. And it says true, right? Before it was green, now it's red. Basically, when ignore MIDI mode is set to true, the knobs don't make a difference. So what that does is like, so let's say right now we are, let's affect our, so this is the background fade, right? Actually, this one doesn't really matter because it's only between 0 and 1. Let's say depth, okay, depth sensitivity. I want it to go up higher, right? See, right now it's going between 0.81 and 1.81. Okay, I move it up. Let's say I want to go higher. What I do is I hit this button, right? And now I've ignored MIDI mode. I can bring this knob down, and now we activate MIDI mode again. And you see now it's continuing from here. So I'm able to move it back up. So now you see, now it's between 1.81 and 2.81. The other thing is, you can see now controlling is 0. 0 means that it's, now I could print it out specifically. Basically, I have this button which switches between what the, because you only have like 16 knobs up here, right? Sometimes you have more values than 16. So what do? Well, you can use this to change which mode your camera is controlling. So I have 2 modes. When now controlling is 0, I'm actually controlling the shader variables. When now controlling is set to 1, I'm actually controlling the camera variable. So you see here, when I'm in now controlling 0, right? This is affecting the sample depth. This is affecting background fade, and this is affecting depth sensitivity. Now when I'm in 1, which is controlling the camera variables, you see this actually affecting the orthographic projection size. This is affecting the near clip plane, and this is affecting the far clip plane. Now, while we're talking about far clip plane, so you'll see that far clip plane, when you, now this is even multiplied by 10, right? It's 1 to 10. This is not doing a whole lot. Let's say sometimes you want the far clip plane to be like 1,000. So this is really annoying. If I'm just moving up from like 10 units at a time, you know, this can be pretty tedious. So what I have here, is that the draw distance? Yeah, it's like the view distance. Is I have these like fast forward, these like 2 arrow knobs, and what I do is I use them to affect the speed of it. So you can see value adjust speed right now, it's set to 1, right? I can increase, so this is saying that now I want to increase the value adjustment by 64 times. So see, now far clip plane goes from 99 to 740. This is also a very cool color. Right? And again, and that also, what I can do is the other one, it slows it down. So you see, right now it's going at 0.125, so that means if, for example, the depth sensitivity, I don't want to go from 1, you know, I just want to move it. So see, now it's capped from 1.81 to 1.93. Hey, Dreadsoul Wow. Yeah, so see, I'm able to like have really, really finite control. And this is something I was talking to Matt Bach. He's actually the creative director at Harmonix. I met him at GDC, and I was like, hey, Matt, you know, I just kind of got this idea to set up this MIDI controller. And he's like, yeah, you know what's really important is because a lot of times if you're making games, people put values that they think looks good. You put something like 3.0, 4.5. Hey, Ed Riofer, William Cheer. Yes, okay, this is it. William Cheer is it. Yes, I had a bit of an identity crisis with the with my name. Ah, God. Sorry, guys. There seems to like I basically like I'm kind of setting up this MIDI controller to work with a whole bunch of things at once. So there's kind of a lot of bugs. It's like really broken right now. But I wanted to show you guys this thing working. So, hey, Tiny Angry Crab. Yeah, this is not unexpected, but you guys can know this is live, man. This is you know, I'm not. There's no pre-rendered stuff here. William cheers it. William cheers it. But it's also good to have the other channels because then no one can impersonate me. Not that anyone plans on doing that. Someone said jet user a note. Alright, so let's go back to maximize play, mute audio, rigid body controller. So basically what I have is this thing, it doubles the speed, this halves the speed, and then if I want to bring it down, I actually have this single arrow button, it just sets the speed to 1. So I don't have to, like, you know, if you make it too fast, you don't have to come back. I'll show you guys some more, and I'll show you guys just how incredibly useful, like, this should be standard game development stuff. And I didn't learn about it until March of this year, and I've been making this game for almost 3 years now, and that was like, I wish someone had told me this from the beginning. Alright, so let's go up, let's show my Edge Ortho panel. So for those of you that are new, this is my debug console, and what it does is it, you know, I can enable this panel to show up. I've got another function, and I'll talk about the debug console is another thing that I think is really, really, really super useful. Which I think also everyone should do. Like, you want to do this early on. Steam background. Not sure what you're talking about. Sorry, Edriofer. We will get we'll get quality control soon. Well, let's see here. 2D view of the tower. Yes, yes, yes. I'm gonna make a bunch of stuff like this. By the way, I don't know if we can make the new name announcement, like, I wanted to do it next week, but I don't think I can have, like, really great looking assets done in time, so we might push it back. MIDI adjust edge ortho. Alright. Right, so now we can change values, so super handy, right? It's allowing me to fine tune. So like I said, I've got buttons that are here, which is changing the adjustment speed by half each time. So if I really want something really precise, I can increase it times 2 each time. If I want something really fast. Look, Main Jai, the constant name change is because, you know, I'm like really thinking about it. Ultimately, it doesn't matter how many times I have to change the name. We're gonna try to go with the one that is the best. And then again, the single arrow button, what it does is it just sets it down to 1, right? It's just like a quick reset button. This button ignores all these buttons, all the knobs, so you can basically reset them and continue. So you basically have an infinite scale. Now what I've got, and this is great, right? Because this means I don't have to pause the game and go to the inspector. I can literally make changes. So you can imagine, like, if you're doing this for game feel or physics, you can have someone playing the game. You can have someone, man, I am loving the color schemes we are making tonight. You can have someone playing the game and you use this to make values and be like, hey, is that feeling better? How does that feel? How does that feel now? And like, okay, well, how about just a little? And they're like, well, that's a little bit too fast. How, you know, like, this is amazing. This is so awesome. I also have cycle, and what that does is it changes between shader modes, right? And this is, again, really great. I used to have to go to the inspector. I pause the game, go to inspector, drag, you know, go on the drop-down menu and make changes. And here, like, I'm able to switch between modes. Now I'm in depth normal color mode. Let's start changing these values, right? Okay, I'm able to make, you know, the color change sensitivity. I'm able to make comparisons between stuff. I'm gonna Dread Soul WoW. I'm gonna go over the code in a bit. By the way, if you're watching the stream and if you're enjoying it, definitely follow, share, let people know that this channel is on. I've been changing the URL a few times. This is it. It's going to be, it's twitch.tv/WilliamCheer, and I'm at William Cheer on Twitter. But yeah, give me a follow if you like the stream. It just lets me know people are interested. It's a bit of encouragement, and you know, tell your friends about it. Okay, so right, I'm able to. So see, let's say this, right? Let's go for an example. So actually, first what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into no clip mode and toggle HUD. Would simulated mouse acceleration work for the sliders? There is. You can add like slow. You can add filters to it. That's actually on the MIDI controller. So like, let's zoom this out, right? And okay, so let me just show you guys. Let's say I wanna take a screenshot of this level, and I want to try to find out. Like, I want to clean up. I want to have some great edges. Okay. Like I want to like take a really great screenshot. So I'm not going to show you guys the controller because it's actually kind of hard for me to control it while I'm holding it up. So I'm going to put it down here and I'm going to start tweaking. So first of all, let's go into the camera mode, and what I'm going to do is we're going to zoom out a little bit. So I'm going to up the orthographic projection size again. I'm hitting that. I'm going to ignore resetting it so I can just zoom out a bit each time. Actually, I want it a little bit closer. I mean, kind of what we had before was good. All right, so now let's adjust the far clip plane. So we just have a little more stuff. All right, so this is our, okay, now that's our far clip plane. Now you can also see, this was also really helpful for me because it was here that I realized it was the low clip plane was causing some problems. So like low clip plane has to be above 0. All right, let's, and we don't want that much on the far clip plane. All right. Okay, this is all right, this is kind of cool. All right, let's go this. Let's just try to refine the edges here. All right, so all right, now I'm in camera mode. I'm going to switch back into shader mode. Not going as intended. What are you talking about, main GI? All right, so now I'm in the normal depth normal test mode, which I'm just looking at normal values. So that's why you can actually kind of see in the middle. You can see I'm missing a lot of the edges because it's not, using normals alone isn't that great, right? So what I found that works really well is using depth and normal and then combining those two and making a color and then doing edge detection on the new color. Right, so you can already see, I'm just hitting this button, I'm just hitting this cycle button, switching in between different modes, and right away I can already see depth, normal to color. It's just super easy to compare. I can see depth, normal to color is really the best edge detection shader mode we've got here. So now it's a matter of fine tuning, right? Like, okay, so right, okay, so now I'm adjusting this color sensitivity. Okay, so see, that looks good. That looks good right there. Right, now normally there's kind of a few other things like with depth, there's this one, you know. Okay, so see, if I want that shot, and now I think here, right, so there, color sensitivity is too high, so maybe I want to lower that down a bit. What I plan on doing, so right now depth and normal sensitivity don't do anything, but I think, you know, if I were to go back into the shader, I could add these, so like depth and normal also affected. But as it is, we're just, you know, we just need color right now. And like, let's start playing around with colors, you know. So let's go, you know, again, and then here, because I'm not pausing it, I can go in here. Let's zoom in a little bit more. Right, that's looking really nice. Right, so let's you know, let's play around with the colors. How much do I want the background to affect? Right, so now this is the background is fully on. Maybe I want a little orange. Right. So anyway, I mean, you can see I'm just, at this point, I'm just kind of playing around, but although the one thing is I do wish there was like a color visualizer, because it's actually kind of hard to figure out what's going to happen with color adjusting when you're just looking at RGB values, like it's like what's gonna well yeah, I guess if I increase blue, but it's like how do I get to orange? RGB? Is that like red and yellow, which is that? No, that gives me one. Alright, so that's orange. Right? I mean, so this is it. So as you can see, it's like super helpful to how do I keep everything running with such good performance given everything on screen? We've done a lot of optimization. Killer Kirky Twitch. I think he's not talking about the oh, right. Sorry about that, Edriofer. Yeah, we've done a lot of optimization with this, right? So, like, anyway, it just allows me to make a whole bunch of really, really cool adjustments. So yeah. Anyway, I'm like super digging this. So let's I want to take some screenshots. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually hide the panel, and just take some screenshots. So yeah, I mean you can see here where we are still. I'm still able to make changes even without that. But this looks like a kind of like a classic image. Very cool. Ooh. Right? I mean, it's just really fun and easy for me to play around. So what I'm actually going to be doing moving forward is actually making this I'm trying to do the same thing to my normal perspective edge detection shader as well. And I've gone ahead and hooked it up to a bunch of other gameplay elements as well. By the way, I just want to check in regarding the stream. Is everyone's stream okay? I know Edriofer is having a lot of problems. Unfortunately, that's pretty common for him. Hopefully, once I get the quality adjustment thing, we can do that. Hopefully, that problem will get fixed. But is anyone else's stream having issues? Okay, it's good from AGI. Killer Key Twitch. By the way, Killer Key Twitch, how's it? Thanks for coming by. I think it's the first time I've seen you here on the chat. So, anyway, it's awesome. MIDI controller, you guys should definitely do it. Let me now talk about kind of how you do that. We'll go over some of the details, and again, this is very much specific to Unity. Checking my... That's my Twitter handle. Okay, that's not actually what I wanted to show. Damn it. Go to the first slide. Okay, so... Anyway, it looks like my Microsoft PowerPoint is frozen. Alright, doesn't matter. Sure, guys. There's some problem going on. I'm not able to like click on. For some reason, like I'm not able to click on stuff. Oh God. Major, you're killing me. Tyvin is king. How am I hosting myself? I just had like some different channels. Oh man, I hope my mouse isn't broken. You know what? I did spill some tea on my mouse. But that would be so that might be the culprit. Oh man, I hope I didn't. Okay, it might actually be a problem with my mouse because I spilled water on it. Let me grab another mouse. That's gonna be really annoying. Sorry, guys. Oh shit! It looks like it. Damn it! Oh no! Looks like I broke my trackball. I've had this thing for like years. And then I spilled tea on it while I was prepping for the stream because I was reading the pre-stream chat. So, in a way, it's your fault? I'm kidding. Damn. Not now. Yeah. It looks like it's not so much a problem with this, but, bummer. Maybe if it dries, it will be fine. But let me... Sorry guys, this is gonna put on a bit of a dent here. Yeah, man, I hope it's not broken. I use this trackball, which is like super great. I basically can't use a normal mouse anymore. So I hope it's not. I hope it's still working. I mean, it was working before. I'll deal with that after the chat. Okay, anyway, this is the, so, first things first, this is the plugin. It's by Kjiro. So, github.com, Kjiro/Unity MIDI input. And it's basically this plugin that he wrote. And you actually, what you want to do is you want to download the test branch. And then bring that, just copy that into your asset folder in Unity. And I'll show you guys, here it is, right? I just have down here, Unity MIDI input asset. Now, the one thing I want to bring to your attention is I do get this like weird error message, something to do with MIDI receiver. Like you'll get this error message, it'll say, what will it say? This is what it'll say. Multiple plugins with the same name, Unity MIDI receiver, and it says, this means one or more plugins are set to be compatible with the editor. Only one plugin at the time can be... Actually, only one editor at the time can be used by editor. Honestly, I haven't quite figured it out. I think it has something to do with these two, like DLL files. Now, I did seem to fix it by... For Unity MIDI receiver x86, I just had x86 checked. Like when you download it, it's gonna have both of them checked, and I just made it so that the one that's under the x86 folder only has x86 checked. The one under x86-64 only has that one checked and not the other one. I don't really know what's going on. If somebody has any idea, let me know. Probably could be avoided by pruning the source tree. You know, I really, really hate using GitHub. Not very good at it. Just put the battery back in this guy. So, anyway, it comes with like a few demo scenes, so let's open one of them. Okay, yeah, thanks, David. That'd be awesome. What is the game I'm making? The game I'm making is Relativity game. It's called Relativity. Killer Key Twitch. I have Windows 10 on my laptop behind me. It just updated. Somebody please link Killer Key Twitch my the E3. Hey, Killer Key Twitch. No, I mean the E3 channel. I've been programming all day. I mean I was on the PlayStation live stream during E3. It was recorded. That is the video I am linking you to, which talks a little bit more about the game. Oh man, I think it is my... I see. Oh wait, I think it's fixed. Oh sweet, okay. Killer Key Twitch. Yeah, the problem is I can't show you right now because a bunch of stuff is broken. Normally I would just jump in and demonstrate some gameplay. But right now well, you know, right now my mouse is broke. Ah! That has something to do with this guy being turned on. Oh man, I'm really, really sad. I've had this thing for like 3 years now. Yeah, so normally I would just jump in and show people, but the problem is that the shaders are, I'm like fixing them at the moment, so they're not, it's basically not working. Alright, so this is, you know, basically when you download this demo, it lets you can just kind of move these knobs and see what happens. And so you get the different channel numbers, right? And you have you can see right now it's got this slow mode, which I think what slow mode, look, it does the, you can see it's doing the ease in at the, like, notice how it slows down when it gets to the end. So that's really, really nice. You can change that. Why are the knobs in the wrong order? It's not, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's just more just a demo. So yeah, you gotta have this like MIDI input. So you see, you can change the sensibility. Here you can change. I think there's like a button to change this. But there's like, oh, you know what? It's inside the code. Never mind. God damn it. Okay, actually, you know what? It seems like it's mostly working, so what I should do is just let the mouse dry out for a bit, and I think it'll probably be fine. Alright, for now, let's use this other one. Let me show you in the code, they can change it. In the actual MIDI input script, you can change whether you want real-time, fast, or slow. Come on, MIDI input script, open up. So yeah, real time means it just moves with it. I seem to recall there used to be this, you could like it used to be like a drop down. I'm not too sure where that is now. Like why is it on slow? Or maybe you can change it when you hit play. Anyway, I just wanted to show you guys quickly the fast and slow in real time. Ah, right. I guess you just click. So yeah. So see, this is real time. You can see it's basically the knobs are moving at exactly the speed I'm moving at. So there's no easing in or slowing down, right? That might be helpful if that's what you want. Fast, you can see it does like a much faster, so it is doing like ease in, ease out, but it's pretty fast. Slow, you know, does a really slow version of that. You can see like I already hit it and then it's like catching up. Anyway, so that's that. If you are using the Korg Nano controller on their website, alright, by the way, why did I... Oh, man. Yes. Yeah, so the plugin kind of handles that. So I'm using this Korg Nano Control 2. They actually have... You can download like a Korg Control Editor software. This is what it looks like. So it tells you the channel number for each of the buttons, and you can actually go in and change them, right? So, which is really nice. We'll move that over. And let me see what else in my... Okay. This is a GDC Vault talk that Bennett Foddy gave. B-Fod. Bennett Foddy. If you search for Bennett Foddy Designing with Physics, it's not about specifically using a MIDI controller. He talks about kind of making the physics in game engines work for you. And he is a proponent of using the MIDI controller to tweak values. He also mentions it in this talk. And he actually recommends, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's his talk. He recommends the MIDI Fighter Twister. It is a bit more expensive. I don't have it. I have the Nano Control. I bought it. I think right now the Nano Control is available on Amazon for like $60. When I bought it, it was $40. It was like $30 and then $10 for shipping. Now it's $60. Maybe it's because I wrote this blog post. But also, if you search for Unity MIDI 3D, I think one of the first top 10 results is this. I'll link to my blog post in which I talk about, kind of go over some of the details here, getting it set up. So the one thing that's great about the Twister though is that every knob is actually also a button. So you can do like instead of going, you basically get a whole lot more combinations as well, and then there's like 6 buttons on the side. So I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna get it just because this one is more than sufficient for what I'm doing right now. And but yeah, if I find that this isn't enough, then maybe. But this looks pretty good. I think if you're also doing music too, then this might be worth it. So yeah, Nano Control 2, I recommend it. MIDI Fighter Twister, I've never used it, but Bennett Foddy says it's good. Check out Bennett Foddy's talk. This is a blog post on my blog, and you can read more about it. And this is the plugin. And now a few things, what I actually have, and I want to show you the way I have it organized. Let's move this over. I don't know why this keeps... Hooray, Unity is frozen. Well, does any have any questions right now since Unity is being annoying? I guess now would be a good time to answer any questions people have. Yes! Oh, God. Yes, this is it. This is it. We're not going to change channels anymore. This is it. Alright. We are now back here. How do I do this? Okay, actually I'm going to move this out of here. Let's go with stream layout. Come on, this should be here. Okay, so I've got the this game manager, and inside I put all the MIDI controller stuff so that it's not so like it just doesn't clog up my actual shader stuff. Few things to attention. So when you're switching between shader modes, you want to make sure that you normalize the values beforehand. Otherwise, if you're like switching between camera and if you go into camera mode and then you're twisting the knobs, if you switch back to shader mode, it's gonna take those changes and implement it. So you don't just want to like straight up read the values from the slider, right? Like actually what I do is I get the slider input and we actually calculate the difference between the slider input and what the previous slider input was, and then that value gets added to the value that's there, right? And the other thing is, we at the very beginning, I take all the values in the inspector and add that to each slider value. So that way we don't have so that way it's like your default positions don't end up setting the values to stuff that you don't want. Yes, the game controller has references to everything I want to change. So I guess that means like you have to make everything public. Yeah, I don't know if that's like a problem. I honestly, I don't know. Maybe there's like another way to do it, but I'm not too. For me, this is what works. Um, and ultimately, this is a tool. I'm not really making this like standalone MIDI controller plugin end all be all for everyone that's using Unity. So anyway, this is how I do it. So you want to just normalize values every time you switch between modes. You want to get the differences between the value of the input for the slider compared to the previous one and add that to your values. A lot of these are very specific to how I want to see the shader stuff get changed. So that's, I think, pretty much it. I don't really have anything else prepared. And I don't want to. The thing is, I don't really want to go into the shader, the edge detection shader itself, because that's sort of kind of my secret sauce as far as the aesthetics of the game is. So maybe once the game is over, I will talk about that. But David, I highly recommend getting a MIDI controller. I hope this stream has convinced you all. And yeah, just because. So yeah, apologies for the sort of for the viewers of the previous channel. Sorry for the URL changes. This is it, William Cheer. I'm gonna stick with it. And if you're new and you liked it, this is kind of a lot of the stuff. It's mostly game development, sometimes level design. If I do this today is a little bit different. Normally it's not as like tutorial like this. This time I actually prepared for the stream and set up an agenda. But normally it's kind of just like, hey, this is what we did today, and let's start designing a level. And I kind of just talk about stuff as I'm working through it. If you guys have questions, let me know. Oxygen 25. I don't know which one that is, but yeah. And like I said, you can always use one of them to change modes, and then you can have way more. My mouse pad is wet, so I'm not able to. But yeah, this is it. Chris has been working on water. The co-working office where he works at has awful internet. So it's been super slow. It's like really hard to have Skype calls with him and to push stuff to Perforce. But yeah, I mean, I'm just working away. This weekend was super productive. I was like really great to be getting back to working on edge detection shader. I'm kind of back into the mode. Yeah. All right, I need this mouse pad back. I can't do anything without it. So yeah, and also on this Friday, we are going to be talking to Happy Badger. They are a studio in St. Louis. We will be checking out their game Smugglecraft, which is a racing game, like a pod racing game, a hovercraft racing game, which I think should be kind of fun. It'd be cool because we'll be talking more about game feel as opposed to puzzle design. And also just about kind of the St. Louis game development scene. Let's see, what else? What else is there? New name, working on the logo design for that. It's coming along well. I'm trying to think. Does anybody in the chat have any more questions? Otherwise, I think I'm going to end the stream here today. Jet User was apparently at Macklemore. Interesting. Is it going to be only PlayStation or Xbox also? Right now I just have plans for PlayStation PC. I'm not actually exclusive to PlayStation. I would love to bring it to Xbox. The issue right now is just that this is my first game. I've been working on it for about almost 3 years now. We have, the game is backed by Indie Fund. I have 2 programmers working on the game now, starting to look at sound, music. Probably will be bringing on a concept artist soon. So anyway, this whole thing is very new to me, and I'm having enough trouble with the game design as it is now, and just the tech and making everything. And every platform is very difficult. So I'm not opposed to Xbox One. It's just that I don't want to commit to something if I can't guarantee it being super awesome. So right now we're just focusing on PC, PlayStation 4. If that goes well, and if I feel like I can handle it, because I have talked to Xbox, they like the game. They do. The thing is, like, they definitely have a lot less people than PlayStation on their team. So just like things take longer, and a lot of it is I think kind of Microsoft with their program. I haven't worked with them. They're wonderful people, but I think maybe Microsoft's setup is more corporate oriented. So they require you to kind of have more documents if you want to get set up with that. And it's just additional paperwork that's harder. I'd rather just be working on that for the game. So I would like to. So long story short, I do want to bring it to Xbox. It's not. More importantly is I just want to have a great game. Ideally launch, if not, hopefully after. But I want to bring it to as many platforms as possible. But I want each platform to be really, really good. So that's where that is. Let's see, any other questions? So, yeah, anyway, as always, you can hit me up on Twitter. If you have other questions about the using MIDI controller for game dev, highly, highly recommend it. And if you like what you saw, you should follow. Main GI, what are you talking about? Here's my handle. Killer Key Twitch. Maybe it displays differently on the Xbox, but it's not gonna miss it. And see, now I can say it's just the same one as my Twitch channel. But yeah, ask me questions. Bottom left. Oh. Well, no, I'm going to leave that one for now because we're going to change the name anyway, so we won't have Willie Cheer on it. But yeah, guys, I'm going to go back and work on my edge detection shader for the game. So I'm going to end the stream now, but thank you all for coming by. I will be on. I do it's weeknights, 8:30 to around 10 p.m. Monday to Friday Central Time. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Okay.